Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the Falls Township Zoning Hearing Board for July 14th. We are going to handle a little bit of the business of the agenda before we get started with the petitions. Keith, you'd like to read the extension request for 1294 Bristol Pike?
Sure. So, Mr. Chairman, we received a letter from Chris Ballas, B-A-L-I-S, in regards to 1294 Bristol Pike, Marshall, PA 19067, tax map parcel 13-047-010, requesting an extension on the prior zoning variance granted on July 10th, 2007 for one more year, which would extend it to July 20th, 2021. So we would need a motion.
Yep. All right, so do we have a motion to grant extension for this petition or for this variance? I'm sorry.
You opening up for questions?
Is there anybody here to answer any questions, Keith?
Yes.
I would have to.
We have the applicant or the.
Well, he hasn't quite been moved in yet. He's on a phone. Okay. And we still are trying to work with one or two applicants that are still trying to join the meeting.
Okay. So can we get him in then? And Bill might have a question. So, or maybe somebody else too.
Looks like Chris may be on the line now.
Okay. Chris, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Hey, Chris, we opened up your request for an extension on the variance.
Yes.
Some board members might have some questions for you. So we're going to,
yes.
They're going to ask now. Okay. So the next person here will be one of our board members asking a question. Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is more towards our township manager, Matt. This has been sitting for 13 years. How many zoning changes have been made in the 13 years? Or does this automatically go back to 2007's zoning?
Yeah, there's a problem with the shoreline over there. That's why I cannot build anything.
Hold on, Chris. Bill was asking a question about the petition. We want you to be able to hear it, to be able to answer it in turn if you have to. It was a question of our zoning officer, Matt Takita. Matt?
Does he need to be sworn, Keith?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, Chris, we're going to have you sworn in by our court reporter now. So the next voice you hear will be her, okay?
Yes.
Mr. Ballas, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, can you just state your name, please?
Chris Ballas, CHRISBALIS.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Bill, you had a question to Matt.
Yes. Since this was approved 13 years ago,
Yeah.
does this fall under the zoning code from 13 years ago on his original application, or is it effective like this year or next year? Does he follow those codes? I'm just concerned that things changed over time.
Right. So I know there was at least one overhaul to the zoning ordinance not too long ago that I think was after 2007. As far as the approval itself, I mean, you have a mixture of a use approval as well as dimensional approval. And my understanding, defer to Keith on this, but use variances run for the life of the property, regardless of how the zoning changes. Dimensional variances, I believe, do have some sort of a shelf life. So if there's a change in dimensional requirements, you may need to comply with those current requirements. Looking at this, not being 100% familiar with the application, it would appear that this may actually require some form of land development, in which case there'd be a new review done for those specifics.
Some of the variants or all of it? Some of them, right?
Well, look, hang on. We're kind of jumping ahead.
Chris. Yeah, we're going to let Matt answer the question. It was more of a procedural question about.
Okay.
Because the variance has been carrying on for so long and extended so many times that, we're asking if it's under the old zoning code registration or the new one. So.
Yeah, so I guess I'll try to answer the question. So he was granted relief, and if any of those sections that he was granted relief from have now changed, he would have to come back in front of the board and be granted further relief. And we'd have to sort that out. And Matt would have to look back to see what he was granted relief from. I knew there were several sections that he was granted. As Matt said, it was a mixed use property. So, Bill, I guess to answer your question, if things have changed, he would have to comply with the current zoning that's in place before he would start to build, pull permits or whatever else is required from the township.
So that's the dimensional variances though, right, Keith?
Yes.
I just didn't know how that worked. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks, Bill. Does any other board members have any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion for the extension request? Doug, can you unmute, please?
Dan, I'll make that motion.
Okay, so it's a motion to approve the
1 year extension.
1 year extension. Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. We'll pull the board, Scott, please.
Sure. Myself, yes. Doug,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes. Okay, so the motion passes. The extension request has been granted. Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Thank you. So,
Great, yeah, have a good night, thanks.
thank you. Good night.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Second point of business on the agenda tonight was a motion to continue. Well, we're looking for a motion to continue for petition number 7. Is that right, Keith?
Yes. So I received an email from Brian Binney, who appears to be the engineer working on this project on behalf of the applicant. They apparently did not perfect service to the adjoining property owners. He sent an email, which I then forwarded to, I believe, to Matt Takita in regards to this. So at this point, it'd be appropriate to open the application. And if I could just read just briefly what the application is. The applicant's name is Joe O'Donnell. It's in regards to the location is Old Route 13, tax map parcel 13-040-045. As I stated, applicant needs a continuance to perfect service to the adjoining property owners. And we're doing it, I would recommend we do it on the record, which would then eliminate the need of reposting the property and republication.
Okay, can we, do we have either, I guess, is Joe present?
I have them on standby by cell phone. I told them that, leave their cell phones on in case they need to be contacted by the township.
Okay, so can we bring those, can we get them in or?
Yes, you need to talk to them.
Well, we're going to open it. Do we need them to open it or?
No, I think it's sufficient. We read the application.
Okay.
And then we'll continue it on the record.
Okay, so the application as presented, we have a motion to continue this application till next month's meeting.
I'll make that motion, Dan.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
the motion is continued to, sorry about that, August 11th, the August 11th meeting, 7 p.m. Okay. Okay, now we'll get back to the agenda as written. Petition number 1. Want to bring in Mr. Hood?
I think they brought in Amber. She's petition number 2. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not sure how to contact. We could listen.
Okay, so we'll, if we get Mr. Hood at any point, we'll just jump back to him while we're doing the residential.
Oh, this is David. Are we looking to bring Mr. Hood into the meeting?
Correct.
He was number 1 on the petition sheet, so.
Okay, I'll grab him. Okay, 1 second.
Okay, sorry, Amber, we'll
Wait a
get back to you.
minute,
Thank you. Mr. Hood, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Hood, I'm going to open up your petition. I'm going to read the relief you're looking for. And then we're going to have you sworn in after that. We'll take care of some other business and it'll be your turn, okay? So petition number 1, Bill Hood, 613 Beaumont Avenue, Fairhouse Hills, PA, requesting a dimensional variance to erect a shed which will encroach into the 10-foot minimum distance between buildings. Mr. Hood, at this point, the next voice you'll hear will be our court reporter. She's going to swear you in into the petition, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Hood, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hood, now our solicitor is going to mark exhibits for your petition, and then we're going to turn it over to you, okay?
Mr. Chairman, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal along with the accompanying statement as ZHB 1. Exhibit 2 will be the permit denial letter from Falls Township dated May 27th, 2020. 3 will be the impervious calculation sheet. 4 will be 2 pages containing plans of the proposed shed. 5 will be 2 pages containing 4 color photographs, one of which shows that the property was posted as required. 6 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letters as required. 7 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier Times showing that this matter was published June 30th and then again July 7th, 2020. Mr. Chairman, I'm satisfied the appropriate notices have been satisfied and this matter can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Bligmeyer. All right, Mr. Hood, your turn. Just let us know what's going on with the petition, the relief you're seeking, and everything else.
Do you need me to read my letter that I sent to the board?
Yeah, if you'd like to, you can paraphrase if you'd like, however you want to present your petition is fine with us.
I'm told that it doesn't meet the 10-foot minimum between structures. Right now, there's a shed on the property with the carport in between. And I understand the 10-foot minimum is because in case there's a fire. Well, right now, if my shed were to catch on fire, there's a roof attaching to the house, so that's just as bad already. We get looked into putting an addition on the house to build like a garage, but the side of the house that we need to put it on also has the electric meter, the gas line, and all that stuff we would have to get moved, and it just wasn't in our budget to do that. And this is the next best thing we could come up with is a nice big shed. I have a lot of collectibles and stuff. She has collectibles and clothes that she wants to get out of the attic because there's not enough room up there. And
Gotcha. Okay. All right, Mr. Hood.
I talked to neighbors, they think that a new shed would look better than the one that's there already. And my neighbor that lives right next to me, he sent in a letter stating he has no problem that it would be 10 feet away from his shed, and he has no problem with it. There's, a lot of houses in the neighborhood that have garages that are attached to their house that are closer than 5 feet to their house.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to do this all the legal way. When people tell me, I wouldn't even get a permit. I don't work that way. I want to be within code and all that. And if this 10-foot thing is going to be a deal breaker, I don't know what else I can do. I'm open to suggestions.
Understand. Mr. Hood, at this point, I'm going to ask you, the other board members, if they have questions for you about everything, okay?
Okay. Yes.
All right, Bill. Any questions? You're on mute.
Is there any way you can meet the township code by putting like the sheetrock and stuff there that's fireproof or something to meet the code other than the distance?
I'm not sure what you mean.
That sounds like a Matt question. Matt, nope, yep. Is there anything he can do structural to the shed, sheetrock, fireproof sheetrock, or anything that helps meet that?
Yeah, the building code has requirements for fire ratings if you don't meet the separation distance. So when we review this under the building code, we can let him know what that's going to be. And that would be required whether that variance is granted or not.
Okay, yep.
So, and the 10-foot is on the zoning and everything, the 10-foot is really for access for emergency vehicles and equipment.
Gotcha. Thank you. Feels that good. Al?
I have nothing at this time now.
Okay, Doug?
I don't have anything at this time either.
Scott?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Hood, the thing is, if the roof was connected to the actual house, it's no longer an accessory structure. As weird as that sounds, it becomes part of the main kind of building. So I know you said that, the roof's there now, it's even closer. Kind of a little bit of a, I guess, a pickle there for you. I don't have any questions. I kind of see what you're doing. It's almost replacing the carport in a sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Well, Matt, did we receive, or is there anybody in line to speak to this petition?
No, we have no public comment on this agenda item.
Okay, great. Matt, did we, besides the one letter that was a part of our packet, was there any other correspondence to the township phone or letters?
No, there was not.
Okay, just the one from the neighbor that we see in the packet, right?
Correct.
Great.
Mr.
Okay.
Mr.
Yes,
Chairman, I know if there's going to be a motion made, the motions that are set forth or that were emailed out, there's just a typo in that. The application has it listed as 613 Beaumont Avenue. It should
Okay.
it should read 613 Beaumont. Yeah.
Road, yes.
Beaumont Road. Okay. Great. Thank you. So whoever's going to read that motion, if you could make that adjustment as read, that'd be great. So there's no public comment for this at all, right? So we have nobody in there?
I have one more.
Yes, Bill.
Now, I guess it'll bring up the code concern of emergency access to the back of the house or back of the house of a fire. What's you putting any kind of like, it says you're putting concrete down in that 5-foot gap. Or is that going to be acting as a porch where you're going to have chairs and other stuff that's going to be blocking, emergency access to the back of your house?
That's actually the concrete that's already there.
No, I understand that. But within that 5 feet between the house and the shed, what do you plan on putting? Like, let's say your house, your house is on fire, and the fire department needs to get to the access to the back of your house.
They could go on the other side of the house.
They can do a lot of things, but I'm just asking if they needed access to the house. Are you planning on using that space in there for anything?
No, nothing at all. It's just a walkway to get to the entrance. We always use the side of the house. And if a fire truck needed to get to the back, the other side of the house is wide open to get back there. There's I think there's only, 14 feet? No, 18. There's only 18 feet on that side of the house. But, I mean, you could drive the fire truck back there.
There's no way you can push this shed to the backyard.
Now, the backyard has a big hill.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in light of the recent comments, questions, have any other? Okay, if not, would someone like to make a motion on this petition?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Scott.
I move that the application of Bill Hood requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-20F and table 1 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to erect a shed which encroaches into the 10-foot minimum distance between buildings at the property located at 613 Beaumont Road, Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, 19030, as depicted in the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Great, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Scott, pull the board, please.
Okay, myself, yes. Doug?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
Bill?
No.
And Dan?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Hood, your petition has been approved for the shed. You're going to receive a letter from our solicitor's office in the coming days, weeks here of next steps. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hood. Have a great night. Thank you. Okay, let us know when Amber Griffiths is in.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Sorry about the confusion there earlier.
No worries.
Okay, so, all right, same thing. We're going to open your petition. I'm going to have you sworn in by our court reporter, and then our solicitor is going to enter in a bunch of exhibits for your petition. Okay. So petition number 2, Amber Griffiths, 3 Primrose Lane, Levittown, PA 19054. Requesting a dimensional variance to erect a fence in the secondary front yard. Okay, Ms. Griffiths, next voice you hear will be our court reporter swearing you in.
Ms. Griffiths, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now our solicitor is going to mark some exhibits for your petition, then it'll be your turn, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Chairman, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1, along with the accompanying statement from Amber Griffiths. 2 will be a letter from Jones Engineering to Pete Gray, former township manager, dated October 6, 2019. 3 is a sanitary sewer easement construction permit from Lower Bucks County Joint Municipal Authority in regards to this request. 4 is a plot plan. 5 will be examples of neighboring fences. I guess the applicant can explain them further, but we'll mark them as collectively as ZHB 5. 6 will be 2 pages containing 4 color photographs, one of which shows the property was posted for tonight's meeting as required. 7 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letters that are required. And 8 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier Times, showing that this matter was published June 30th and then again July 7th, 2020. I believe that is all of the exhibits. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm satisfied that the appropriate notices have been satisfied and this matter can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Billigmeyer. Okay, Ms. Griffiths, up to you now.
All right, great. Thank you. Thanks for your time tonight. We are looking to put up a fence in the secondary backyard. Which one is it?
Secondary front.
Yeah, secondary front yard. The property is situated on the corner of the drive of Pinewood Drive and Primrose, so lots of traffic. We have children and cousins and visitors, so we like to have a space where it's safe for our children to play outside. Hopefully like to be able to have a pet in our home where we can have space for pets to run around with our growing family. Both of our neighbors have pools, so I think it gives some additional privacy from not only for us but just people in the neighborhood not being able to get over a 4-foot chain link fence. I'll say in full disclosure, there was trees in my yard that when I bought the house 7 years ago, they were told they were my trees and they were between myself and the house behind me. And in preparation for me wanting to put this fence up, and before I realized I would need a variance, those trees were taken down. In hindsight, I found out they were not my trees. So I do have a neighbor who's not so happy with me. But I wanted to do this fence anyway, so that's important for I think the board to understand that. But I think she would like to have some privacy back, and as would we, because I can see into her house and her pool. So I think that I've seen other properties that have that are corner properties as exhibited in the pictures that I did submit within the Pinewood development that do have 6-foot vinyl fences that I think go into the secondary yard. I did reach out to Lower Bucks, the LBCGMA. We'll both stumble on that tonight to ensure that I wasn't having any issues with the sewer location, and have agreed that we would have a gate on that side that would have a lock that they would have access to. And there'll be a gate on the other side as well in the event there was, anyone needed access to the backyard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just do feel it's important to point out that the Lower Bucks Joint Municipal Authority they supersede us. So if they want the fence down, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And nothing binding we've done. That
Right.
can't. They just do whatever they want. So, okay, great. So I'm going to open it up for some board questions now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Scott, get your mic open.
I just wondered if it's going to be in the site triangle, if everything is clear and be in the corner property.
Scott, it's not in the site triangle. It's okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Al,
No, it's quite obvious what you're looking to do. I have no questions.
Thank you.
Doug,
I have no questions.
Bill.
No questions.
Yeah, I have no questions. Is there anybody in the public forum?
We have no public comment.
Okay, great. Matt, did we receive any correspondence on this petition to be
No, we did
considered?
not.
We did not. Okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I move that the application of Amber Griffiths requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-37C2 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to erect a fence in the secondary front yard at the property located at 3 Primrose Lane, Levittown, Pennsylvania, 19054, as depicted in the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
We have a second?
I'll make the second.
Okay, Scott, pull the board, please.
Yes, myself, yes. Doug,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes. Okay. Congratulations, Ms. Griffiths. You've been approved for the fence. Your petition's been approved for the fence, You'll get a letter from our solicitor's office about next steps, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Gallick.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to open up your petition. Then I'm going to have you sworn in. Then we're going to mark some exhibits for your petition going forward from our solicitor, okay? So this is petition number 3 for Robert Gallick, 99 Rice Drive, Marsville, PA, 19067, requesting a dimensional variance to construct a 3-season room which encroaches into the 15-yard side yard setback. Okay, Mr. Gallick, the next voice you hear will be our court reporter swearing you in.
Mr. Gallick, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gallick. Now our solicitor is going to mark some exhibits for this petition, and then we're going to turn it over to you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Keith, you're muted.
Sorry. We'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1, along with the accompanying statement and support. 2 will be a permit denial letter from Falls Township dated May 15th, 2020. 3 will be the impervious calculation sheet. 4 is a plot plan for the subject property. 5 will be, 5 will be 2 pages containing 4 color photographs, one of which shows that the property was posted for tonight's meeting as required. 6 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letters as required by code. 7 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier Times showing that this matter was published June 30th and then again July 7th, 2020. Mr. Chairman, that's all the exhibits that I have to mark. All the appropriate notices have been satisfied, and this matter can proceed.
Okay. Mr. Abraham,
Yes,
is he part of the petition? I'm sorry.
yes, I'm the owner of the property.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, can we swear Mr. Abraham in, Karen, please?
Sure. Mr. Abraham, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Gallagher, Mr. Abraham, whoever's more comfortable, with presenting the petition to us, the request for relief?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, guys and ladies. Our intentions are to construct a 12 by 24 three-season sunroom on an existing footed concrete pad. Apparently, looking at it from the house, looking out the far right corner encroaches onto the setback. I'm not exactly sure what the dimensions are, but I believe it's, well, I'm actually not sure, but I believe it's the right corner that is encroaching the setback on the property lines. And we're asking for permission to move forward.
Okay. All right, thank you. We're going to open it up for some board questions now, okay?
Okay.
So, whoever feels they want to answer, feel free. Bill?
None at this time.
Okay, Al?
No, it doesn't look like it's encroaching too much in the corner there. We're good. I'm good with it.
Okay, Scott?
Yeah, just a couple of things. I'm assuming that for a room to be back there, that it truly should be a footed slab. How do we know that existing slab has been footed?
There was a permit pulled years back when it was poured. There was a permit through the township that was pulled on it. And I can have, if I have to have my architect or the engineer go out there and do any kind of certification, I can certainly do that.
Okay. The way I see it on the back of the house on the picture, so you wouldn't have an exit actually out from the house. I guess the back patio door exits onto a small, looks like a deck.
Right now the kitchen patio door enters onto the concrete slab. So that's going to be the entrance into the room. And then directly to your left will be the other patio door entering onto the existing concrete slab. That's not footed.
Okay. Are they going to be doing any more, putting any more concrete out or
No.
extending patios or anything?
No. We're just going to be putting it on the footprint that's there.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Yep. Thank you. Doug, did you have any questions? I'm sorry.
My question was answered. Thank you.
Okay. Bill?
To go on what Scott was saying on the footers, so you don't know if there's footers there or not, correct?
Well, the homeowner did work with a contractor that had a permit pulled through the township. So based upon that, I'm just forwarding that information to you, and that was forwarded on to the architect. But I could get certification on that for
I think some of these technical questions of the building structure of things, I don't know that they're really for us to disseminate tonight. I think that's up to the township to review and for them to do. They're asking for a dimensional relief variance. Really how it's put together, I don't think is up to us to pull over here and examine in itself. We have a department to take care of that.
Yeah, I was just leading into that's exactly what we would say, that if we did approve it, they would have to go back to the township for any.
Sure, yeah. It's good for them to know. So, just because we approve this variance tonight does not mean, all building codes have to be obviously make sure that they're safe, and you may have to expose some of this footing. If
Sure.
it was permitted before and somebody looked at it and it was deep enough and has rebar, whatever it needs, but just us approving this tonight does not mean that it's okay to start building this thing.
Yeah, I just want to let the applicant know that,
Yeah, the proper protocols have to be followed, yeah.
Understood. Yes. And we would, for everyone's sake, we'll definitely verify that.
Sure, absolutely, yeah, we don't want to build anything unsafe.
Yep.
Okay, any further questions, comments? All right, any public questions or comments for this petition?
No, we have no public comment.
Okay, Matt, any correspondence to the township about this petition?
No, there
Received?
was not.
Okay, great. Okay, at this point, I'd like to see if we'd like to entertain a motion for this
Make the
petition.
motion.
Thank you.
I move that the application of Robert Gallick requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-14E, table 1 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to construct a three-season room which encroaches into the 15-foot side yard setback, the property located at 99 Rice Drive, Marsville, Pennsylvania, 19067, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that, Dan.
Poll the board, please, Scott.
Yes, myself, yes. Doug,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Abraham, Mr. Gallick, it's been approved. The petition's been approved, so you get a notice from the solicitor's office about next steps. If you have questions, you can always.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to confirm,
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just point out, did we cover if there was any public comment? Did anybody call into this application?
We did. There were no letters and there's no public comment.
Sorry.
That's okay. We covered that. Yep. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
അവര് പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കണ്ട എങ്ങനെയല്ലോ അവരുടെ 3 പെൻസിൽവേനിയയുടെ 3 ഈ 15
Mr. Mulhern, if you can give us a second, we're clearing the room.
No problem.
For the last couple of petitions. Yep. Okay, great. Okay, Mr. Mulhern, we're going to open your petition. We're going to have you sworn in, then we're going to mark some exhibits for your petition. So this is petition number 4 for Stephen Mulhern, 14 Vicar Lane, Levittown, PA 19054, requesting a dimensional variance to install a pool which encroaches into the minimum distance between buildings. Mr. Mulhern, the next voice you hear is going to be our court reporter. She's going to swear you in.
Mr. Mulhern, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now our solicitor is going to mark some exhibits for your petition, and then it'll be your turn, okay?
Mr. Chairman, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1 along with the accompanying statement from Mr. Mulhern. 2.
We might have lost Mr. Mulhern. I don't know.
Yeah, looks
He's not
like
in
we
the
did.
room.
I'm sorry, Dan. Is there a problem?
Yeah, I don't see Mr. Mulhern anymore. Is he still in the room?
Maybe we just lost him. Give me 1 second.
I'm not sure if you need to be present, Keith, while reading
Yeah.
this.
Probably best if he's here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's coming back in. 1 second.
Okay, thank you. There you go, Mr. Mulhern. We lost you for a second.
He's back in the room. You got it.
Okay, we're gonna continue reading the exhibits for your. We're gonna reread the exhibits for your petition.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, we marked ZHB1, the application for zoning ordinance appeal along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be the permit denial letter from Falls Township dated June 12, 2020 to the applicant. 3 is a plot plan. 4 is impervious calculation sheet in regards to this property. 5 will be 7 pages, which is consists of a packet of information in regards to the proposed pool. 6 will be 2 pages containing 4 colored photographs, one which shows that the property was posted for tonight's meeting. 7 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letters as required. 8 will be proof of publication, the Bucks County Courier Times, showing that this matter was published June 30th and then again July 7th, 2020. That is all the board exhibits, and all the appropriate notices have been satisfied, and this matter can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Billy Meyer. Okay, Mr. Mulhern, your turn. What's going on?
Well, I wanted to ask for a variance to install a swimming pool in my backyard. I don't, I want to step back because the main overhead power lines encroach onto my property line. So I'd rather adhere to that setback than and ask the board to approve me to move the pool 3 feet closer to my house.
Okay, thank you. We're going to open up so some of our board members can ask you some questions, okay?
Sure.
Great. Bill, any questions for Mr. Mulhern?
Believe it or not, none.
Okay. Scott, maybe 2 for 2.
I'm doing good. No questions.
Okay. Doug.
I don't have any either.
Al?
I have nothing. I agree. Keep it away from those power lines is best bet.
Excellent. Okay. Matt, sorry, is there any public comments, questions on this petition?
No, we have no public comment for this item.
Matt, any correspondence to the township about this petition?
No, there's not.
Okay. In light of the numerous questions from the board, I'd ask, would like to make a motion for the petition.
I'll make that motion. I move that the application of Stephen Mulhern requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-46E of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to install a pool which encroaches into the minimum distance between buildings at the property located at 14 Vicar Lane, Levittown, Pennsylvania, 19054, as depicted in the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
And I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Scott, pull the board, please.
Myself, yes. Doug?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Dan?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Mullen, the petition's been approved. You'll receive a letter from the Township Solicitor's Office. Any questions, you can call the Township. Okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Good luck. Happy swimming.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Farris.
Good evening.
All right. So I'm going to open your petition up. We're going to have you sworn in by our court reporter, and then we're going to mark some exhibits for your petition. Then your turn. Okay. So petition number 5 for Michael Farris, 223 Brentwood Drive, Fairless Hills, PA 19030, requesting dimensional variances to erect a detached garage which encroaches into the side and rear yard setbacks, and which exceeds the allowable maximum surface coverage. Okay. Mr. Farris, the next voice you hear will be our court reporter. She's going to swear you in, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Farris, the testimony, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, to help you God?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you. And now our solicitor is going to mark some exhibits for this petition, then it's going to be your turn.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1 along with the accompanying statement from Michael, David, and Debbie Ferris. 2 will be a permit denial letter to Don Graber dated June 23rd, 2020 from Falls Township. 3 is a site plan, a drawing of the property. 4 is impervious calculation sheet. 5 will be drawings of the proposed garage structure. 6 will be 2 pages containing 4 color photographs, one of which shows that the property was posted as required. 7 will be the applicant and neighbor notification letters, again, as required by code. Last will be the proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier-Times, showing that this matter was published June 30th, and then again July 7, 2020. That is all the board exhibits. And Mr. Chairman, I'm satisfied the appropriate notices have been satisfied, and this matter can proceed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Billy Meyer. Okay, Mr. Farris, your turn. What's going on?
All right. So I'm looking to take down the shed that's there right now. That's 22 years old. It's, getting older. It needs to come down. It's not, to the point yet, but it's close. Looking to erect a new building that's bigger. And the purpose to go bigger is I would like to make an area where I can store everything. Right now I have an enclosed trailer that has my ATVs out front. And I'd like to get rid of that, put everything inside the garage. And also I'd like to have half the garage to have a workshop for myself and my daughter to be able to get into crafting and woodworking. She wants to get into that type of stuff. And it's the house, the way it's set up right now, we cannot do any of that. So this will allow us to have a little area on top of storing stuff to be able to do crafts and teach her.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. We're going to open it up for some board questions, okay?
Okay.
Great. Bill? I'm sorry, Bill, you're muted.
I have none.
Oh, okay, thank you. Al?
No, I have nothing. I see exactly what you're looking to do, and I see no problems with what you're looking to do. I have nothing, Dan.
Okay. Scott?
Yeah, I really don't have a problem with the dimension. It's not so much that, it's the impervious surface. Are you going to be doing anything with the water runoff to help stop that from being excessive? Are you planning on doing any dry well or French drains or anything to help get that water back underground? That's really my concern, is the impervious surface.
At this time, I do not. I'm open to that. I'm not sure what that would entail, but at this time, I do not have any plans. I didn't really think about that, to be honest. So I mean, there'll be rocks and stuff around the garage itself. There's rocks in front of the shed now, so that will all, whatever rocks get moved will go back up against it again to help drain there.
But you're basically increasing the footprint of that shed as well to be a quite larger
Correct.
slab.
Yes.
And being that it does have the driveway front in it, putting down anything else to make that more of a accessible hard surface in front of that driveway is not going to help the situation either with the water runoff. So
What do you mean by a driveway?
well, like I said, if you're going to put down anything hard, if you're going to start putting down more pavers and things like that in front of the
I will not be doing any of that.
Okay.
It will just be river rock that's there right now. Will just stay there and out when you walk out to the garage. There
Right.
won't be pavers or anything like that going there.
Okay, yeah, I think that if you could work on that water runoff that's excess to get that underground somehow, that would definitely be advantageous to the situation.
Sure.
We can run it by the township engineer for some recommendations on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be good, Matt. Thank you. Doug?
I have no questions, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah, I have no questions. Scott brings up a really good point. The relief you seek can actually be mitigated to a point with some small measures, dry well, water collection at some point, maybe even planting a few more trees, things like that. So
Yeah, I'm open. Yep, I'm open to anything.
yeah, I don't know that we're going to attach anything to this. If anybody feels the need to or not, but okay, I'm going to open it up for any public comments, questions.
There's no public comment.
No public comment. Thank you. Matt, did we receive any letters or correspondence to the township about this petition?
No, we did not.
Okay, thank you. Any further board comments, questions? At this point, would someone like to make a motion for this petition?
I'll make the motion. I move that the application of Michael Ferris requesting a dimensional variances from section 209-20F and table 1 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to erect a detached garage which encroaches into the side yard and rear yard setbacks, which exceeds the allowable maximum surface coverage at the property located at 223 Brentwood Drive, Fairles Hills, Pennsylvania, 19030, as depicted on the plans and in coordinates with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
We have a second.
I'll second that, Dan.
Okay, great. Scott, if you could pull the board, please.
Myself, yes. Al?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And Dan?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Farris, your petition has been approved. You'll receive a letter from our solicitor's office in the coming weeks. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the township. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Have a great night.
You too.
We have more than just Mr. Kiefer. Oh, there we are.
Where'd it go? Yes.
Any other participants on this petition?
We've had someone request staying in the other room to listen.
Okay. Not a problem. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm going to open this petition up. We'll have anybody who needs to be sworn in, and we'll go from there. Petition number 6, USS Real Estate, Energy Drive, Keystone Industrial Port Complex, Fairles Hills, PA, 19030. zone MPM, requesting dimensional variance to permit a front yard setback of 30 feet where 100 feet setback is required, and to permit accessory structures to be located within the front yard setback. Okay, anybody need to be sworn in, Mr. Kiefer?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. McGowan is here representing the applicant. I guess she can identify who's going to be testifying.
Great, thank you, Mr. McGowan.
She is muted right now.
You're muted, ma'am.
How about that? Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Thanks for having us. I will have 2 witnesses this evening. I would also like to be sworn in, as I will be making just some brief introductory remarks that will go to the factual nature of the application. Mr. James Austin is here representing Empire Sunshine Fiber, the proposed user of this property, and then Mr. Wayne Kiefer, please.
Okay, Karen, if you could.
Yeah. So all 3 of you are being sworn in?
Please.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do. I do.
Okay, thank you. And now our solicitor, Mr. Bidlingmeyer, is going to mark the exhibits for the petition. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB 1. 2 will be a letter dated June 15th, 2020, addressed to Falls Township by Ms. McGowan in regards to this application. 3 is a site plan. 4 is a letter to Ms. McGowan, applicant's attorney, providing notice of tonight's meeting, and also with the Zoom instructions. 5 will be 2 pages containing 4 color photographs, 1 of which shows that the property was posted as required. 6 will be the land development plan submitted by applicant. 7 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier Times showing that this matter was published June 30th and then again July 7th, 2020. We're going to mark applicants' previously submitted exhibits. So what we'll do is I'll mark them as A for applicant. A1 will be the land development plan submitted by Ms. McGowan that was forwarded to the board members. A2 will be a certificate of service. Ms. McGowan has certified that the adjoining or abutting properties to this application are actually owned by the applicant. So there was no need to further publish or send letters to the adjoining or abutting property owners because, of course, she was aware. So with those 2 applicant exhibits and the board exhibits, I believe that covers everything. I'm satisfied the appropriate notices have been satisfied. This matter can proceed.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Bidlingmeyer. Ms. McGowan, all yours.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. At subject property this evening is approximately 33 acres located in the middle towards the rear of the Keystone Port Complex. Mr. Austin is going to testify first. He's going to testify as to the proposed use, which is a permitted use in the MPM zoning district in which the property is located. Very briefly, relief this evening is necessitated by 2 features that are unique to this property. The first of which is the fact that the property is bordered on 3 sides by private roads, labeled on the plan as Energy Drive, Middle Drive, and Southport Road. The result of that frontage is that this property has 3 front yards. Front yard requirement in the MPM zoning district is 100 feet, leaving 1 rear yard. Rear yard requirement in the MPM district is 60 feet. If the property were to have side yards as in a typical 1 frontage property, the applicant would meet the requirement for the side yard with even the accessories where they're placed, which is 30 feet. Second thing that you will see, and this is shown on applicant's exhibit A1 that has been colored, Mr. Kiefer will testify to this, is that the property is presently burdened with significant easements and other features, including the canal, which does constrain the development and requires the placement of these accessory structures where shown. With that, Mr. Austin, your name and business address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is James Austin. I am the CEO of Empire Sunshine Fiber. The business address is 1 Ben Fairless Drive, Fairless Hills,
I'm
Pennsylvania,
sorry.
19030.
Mr. Austin, you froze. Please, could you repeat the address?
The company address is 1 Ben Fairless Drive, Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, 19030.
Thank you.
Okay. And Jim, Empire Sunshine Fiber is the proposed user of this property, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the plans that are the subject of this application were prepared at your direction, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you presently have a valid letter of intent for the property, but have not yet proceeded to a lease agreement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Therefore, the applicant this evening is the property owner. You're proceeding with the property owner's approval.
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you briefly describe for the zoning hearing board so there's an understanding of your proposed use and what is shown on applicant's exhibit A1 on the proposed plan?
Be delighted to. Would like to thank the board for having us this evening. This project is an outgrowth of a year's worth of development efforts. The project being designed and engineered and financed is designed to basically process recovered waste paper, old corrugated and mixed paper, into market pulp. This is a product that is highly sought after in the export markets. It is beginning to address the need for outlets for recovered fiber here in the United States. The plant's total design capacity is 1,250 tons a day of finished product, translating that we're going to be bringing in roughly 1,400 tons a day of recovered paper, processing it in a mechanical processing system, drying that fiber, baling it, and then exporting it either out of the Fairless Hills deepwater dock or transporting it via containers for Newark for container shipment for export.
Okay.
The total capital cost on the project, if I should go into that, is on the neighborhood of $150 million. The company is being underwritten in a joint venture with one of the major Chinese pulp and paper companies. Here in the United States, we've retained Morgan Stanley and have secured a Commonwealth of Pennsylvania bond allocation of $129 million. The balance of the project cost is coming through the equity participations from the majority owners of the company. The schedule, with permits currently in process and being filed, would be a financial closing and commencement of construction in November of this year, with a commercial operation roughly 15 to 17 months after the commencement of commercial operation. The company will employ 110 full-time individuals, which we fully expect to retain the vast majority of from the local community. There is an estimate of 250 jobs to build the plant, and it'll take roughly 14 to 15 months to construct after notice to proceed from financial closing. We're excited about the project, and obviously, as Kelly has outlined, this setback is important to accommodating the installation of a wastewater treatment plant.
So Jim, to pick up where you left off, and thank you very much, the proposed accessory structures that are shown on this plan within that front yard setback on Energy Drive. And board members, I'll point you to the left-hand side of the plan where you can see the two boxes labeled wastewater and then packaged boiler. Jim, these two structures as designed are required in order to facilitate that the pulp mill and the other facilities on the property?
Yes, they are. They're
okay.
Critical components. The package boiler is obviously generating steam for the dryers, and the wastewater treatment plant is designed to treat the effluent prior to discharge.
Okay. And I know Wayne will testify to this also, but you have gone through various iterations of this plan, correct? And looked at multiple different configurations in terms of fitting these improvements on this plan?
We have, and through the best of our capabilities, this is the only place to place that wastewater treatment plant.
Okay. and that would be in a location that is clear of other site constraints, including those easements and the canal that I'd mentioned earlier.
That's correct.
I would ask the zoning hearing board if you have any questions of Mr. Austin at this time.
Okay, great. Scott?
I have nothing at this time.
Al?
No, I'm good.
Bill?
None.
Oh, thank you. Doug?
I have none at this time. Thank you, Dan.
No, thank you for the outline, Mr. Austin. It was very informative, and we appreciate that. So, yeah.
You're welcome.
Yep, thank you. All right, Ms. McGowan?
Thank you very much. Wayne, could you please provide your full name, company, and business address just for the record?
Wayne Kiefer, I'm an engineer with Showalter and Associates, 116 East Butler Pike, Chalfont, PA.
Okay, and Showalter and Associates is one of the engineers of record for this subject plan, correct?
Yes, we prepared the plan in conjunction with Sadat Associates.
Okay, and you're familiar with the property in question?
Yes.
Okay, can you just briefly take the zoning hearing board through what we just touched on, which is the location of the subject accessory structures and some of those site constraints that I mentioned?
Right. As you mentioned, the parcel is 33.6 acres. There's actually 16.6 acres that are encumbered by existing easements for utilities, for the drainage canal, and for the high tension lines. So about approximately 50% of the site is encumbered by those. Also, as mentioned, there are 3 road frontages, each requiring a 100-foot setback, which further reduces the available space on the site for construction.
Okay. And the structures that are the subject of this application, Mr. Austin just pointed out in what I'm articulately calling the left-hand side of the plan. Is it your professional opinion that there is another feasible location in order to locate those structures in compliance with the zoning ordinance?
No, there's no other feasible location.
Okay. And is it also your understanding that accessory structures, while not permitted in a front yard, would be permitted in a side yard or a rear yard were that possible?
That's correct.
Okay. And are you familiar with Keystone Port Complex?
Yes.
Okay. In your professional opinion, is the placement of these structures going to have any adverse impact on any of the surrounding properties or surrounding uses in the port complex?
No, they're still across Energy Drive from the remaining parcel, and in fact, the remaining parcel on that side is also owned by U.S. Steel.
Okay. And that resulting setback is 30 feet, correct?
Correct.
Energy Drive is a private road?
Yes.
Okay. And was this plan prepared in conformance with general engineering best practices and otherwise compliant with the zoning ordinance requirements of Falls Township?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Wayne, I'll ask you very simply, anything else that I've missed in terms of this plan relevant to the zoning hearing board?
I do not believe so.
Zoning hearing board members, any questions for Mr. Kiefer, please?
Great, thank you. Yeah, Scott?
No, I have no questions.
Bill?
None.
Al?
No.
Doug?
No.
Nope, I have no questions either. Thank you, Ms. McGowan.
Thank you.
At this point, would you like to entertain any public comments, questions? Do we have any public comment questions or public on the line?
No, we have none.
Okay. Matt, did we receive any correspondence for this petition through the township?
We have not.
Okay. Ms. Gowan, there's no public, there's nobody writing in, so.
Great. Thank you. I would ask to that the zoning hearing board accept our exhibits, and that concludes our presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
At this point, with no further board comments or questions, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion. Move that the application of USS Real Estate requesting dimensional variances from section 20930D and 20934E of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to permit a front yard setback of 30 feet where 100 feet setback is required, section 20930D, and to permit accessory structures to be located within the front yard setback, section 20934E, at the property located at Energy Drive, Keystone Industrial Port Complex, Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, 19030, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
And do we have a second?
I'll second that, Dan.
Okay, Scott, if you could pull the board, please.
Yes. Myself, yes. Al,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you
Good
very
luck,
much.
Mr. Lawson.
gentlemen.
Yep, thank you,
Appreciate
yeah.
it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kiefer. All right, so we have a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make that motion, Dan.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, everybody.
All right.
See you next month, guys.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
promise to
everyone.
pay you.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
See you guys.
I promise.
Good night. See you guys
guys.
next month. Take
Have
care.
a good one, guys. Enjoy your summer.
Night.
Yeah.